Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Between our visitors and our home team. With that, we're off to the Rocky Mountains. Standing by in Denver, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6".
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance.
On his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
The face mask moves him all the way out past the 40 now for first down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And oh, he coughed it up. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
As you and I both know, one reason teams script plays to start a game is so they can practice them ahead of time. I will guarantee you that fumble was not in the script.
You don't think they had fumble written next to play one there?
No, that was never in the script because they want to have good memories when they go into a ball game, not something that could have gone wrong.
So the Broncos coming out now. And this is one of those bang-bang plays, Charles. Did the knee hit first or did the ball come out first?
This is where you need that 20/20 eyesight, don't you, Brandon? You've got to see which one happened first. If the knee hit the ground, then they will keep possession.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
There's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Here we go. 8, read. Let's go, team. Let's go. SOS.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3.
Face mask. Defense.
And I know it's hard in live action, but you've got to keep your hands away from the face. That's a 15-yard penalty.
You work on it all the time, making sure your target area is lower and trying to keep your hands away from the face mask so you don't get the big penalty.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. He's at the 50. 30, past the 20, and he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. How about that for a momentum swing? You had a goal to go. Not only do you cough it up, but they pick it up and return it all the way for a touchdown.
And now you have to give oxygen to the entire team because what a letdown that was. Terrific drive. Looked like you're going to get points. Instead, the other team registers them on the scoreboard.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be stopped just shy of the 25 with a penalty marker down. Here's the call.
Face mask. Defense.
And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now a handoff here to his running back.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And a give this time to the tailback. And some good tackling there as he's stopped up at about the 41. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And he'll give it here to his running back. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. And there's also a flag to go with it. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Low. Now he'll let it go deep over the middle. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
Face mask. Defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Automatic first down.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now they'll run on the draw. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Ready? 60 or. Check tight. Check tight. Check tight. 5.
And he held on to it, but he probably shouldn't have as they get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss.
Down. 15 line. 15 line.
They'll drop the throw. He may try and run for this. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
Matt Patricia here on 4th down, sending out the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
Defense.
And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, Lawrence. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again, Lawrence. That's complete right around the 8. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did you okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
You know, writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
Automatic first down.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Let's put that team on the clock. Now.
They'll try to run this one in. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Here's 2nd and 8. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
So 1st and 2nd down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. Back to throw. Lawrence. And that is incomplete.
I think we can make this one pretty simple. That was a rookie mistake made by the rookie quarterback, trying to force a pass without really using proper mechanics.
A field goal try forthcoming now for the Broncos. And his kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has really. They come up here now, first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this complete to Mitchell. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Face mask. Defense.
Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. He'll look to throw. Pass incomplete.
The pass on 1st down. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 22-yard line.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. 2nd and 10. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
Defense.
So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he will score. An 8-yard touchdown run as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This is fielded at the goal line. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, you string them together, could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
30 seconds remain in this first half as they come up here 1st and 10. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half.
Defense. Automatic first down.
So after the penalty, we'll have one final untimed play here before halftime. A final shot before break. Lawrence. Open man is Ross, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. A run on first down, but it's not going to get them much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. And I know it's hard in live action, but you've got to keep your hands away from the face. That's a 15-yard penalty.
You work on it all the time, making sure your target area is lower and trying to keep your hands away from the face mask so you don't get the big penalty.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, Lawrence. Looking for his running back, and he's got him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. Throw left side, complete to Ross. And he's got this down to the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Here we go. 60 outlaw.
To throw on second down. Lawrence. This pass complete to Higgins. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
Defense.
And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, Lawrence. He's got it. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have taken the lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Extra point attempt to follow here. He's got it as they go. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
They're going to look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he's stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. He won't go down. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. The 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field, and that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So following the hold, They're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now they'll run on the draw. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now they try the right side here. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
They'll come out in the pistol. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. 2nd and 3. He's going to take off with it. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. They'll try to run this one in. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down, 3 yards in the wrong direction.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. 4th quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. Back to throw here. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And an important one that is, as we are tied now early in this 4th quarter. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. (17-17) the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. This one taken from the 7. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
A run there on 1st down gets him a yard to the just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Another carry, same story. Fourth quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45.
Face mask. Defense.
And I know it's hard in live action, but you've got to keep your hands away from the face. That's a 15-yard penalty.
You work on it all the time, making sure your target area is lower and trying to keep your hands away from the face mask so you don't get the big penalty.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Lawrence. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Higgins. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
You've got to get out of bounds. You absolutely have to get out of bounds.
Right idea, working the perimeter, but the clock rolling.
Go now, 30 base.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And here he'll get it down to the 7. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. following the pickup of 4. Here's 2nd and 6. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Ready? 60 Pittsburgh. You're not ready. You're not ready. Ready?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And his kick here is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. So now the Lions down by a field goal, a little over 20 seconds to go. Now they need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
It's now 2nd and 10.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
Throw. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down.
Incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 35.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
It's a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific, it's not a great starting field position as well.
And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18.
Defense.
In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen moved. So that'll back them up 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now they'll run on the draw. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now a handoff here to his running back. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now a first throw here in overtime. It's caught. Mitchell. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A gain there of 21 yards. On the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And to give this time to the tailback. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. It's picked up by the Broncos. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And my, how the tables have turned. They had a chance inside the red zone, punch that thing in and end it. Now we're going the other way.
And it's real easy to just look at them and say, boy, what an error, what a mistake you made. But how about the defense coming up huge? There. Let's give them a little bit of credit, keeping their team in the game, because if they score a touchdown there, it's game over.
The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Now part 1 is done, now part 2. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
Defense.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Try to lay one up deep. Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down, and I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on. Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask, 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. From the gun, Lawrence. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, I go ahead and kick it right now. I know it's only 2nd down, but I kick it and give myself a little margin for error here.
Don't wait for 3rd, have the extra down just in case.
If something goes wrong, messed up snap, anything like that, you fall on it, guess what? It's 3rd down. You still have the ball. You still have a chance to kick it.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. 2nd and 2. And this will be caught. Touchdown. They needed overtime to get it done, but put this one in the win column. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the